Hey all, welcome back to another WIP Wednesday here on my channel. I'm really excited to be back another week and working on my project with y'all. As a recap, I am working on another crochet visor pattern. You can see this is the completed one that I did in yellow. So this one is the first prototype, and I'm kind of just basing it off of the fingering weight hat pattern that I have. So this is just like a spin-off of that, but actually I think it looks really good. Oh, I think I have, yeah, there's like a little loose end I need to weave in still. So, okay, don't judge me on that. I gotta get to that probably after the mystery knit along is over because, wow, I am like swamped for time right now as far as creative projects goes. Because I didn't want to work on it during my WIP Wednesday series because, if anyone is doing the MCAL as well and they don't want any spoilers, then you can still feel free to watch these videos. So that's why I'm doing separately, but I've also inadvertently, or kind of on purpose, doubled my workload for filming the videos and making content and having projects. So I'm very busy. So I have not made very much progress on this because I've just been trying desperately to, keep up with the clues week by week for the mystery knit along. So I did have to restart this. If any of y'all stuck around to the end of my last week's video, I did the entire video and then I realized that the visor, the headband portion was twisted. And if any of y'all are familiar with fiber arts or anything, you would know that if it's twisted from the foundation chain, then there's nothing you can do to fix it. So I unfortunately had to rip this out and start over, which, as I was saying, I've been super busy, so I was not happy to realize that. So I have taken the time before this video to remake it, and I am sure that it's not twisted now. So I'm going to get into this. And I don't really have a necessarily like a topic for today. I kind of liked last week's video where I just kind of talked about what was going on in my life. And so, I mean, I do have a topic in mind, but it's based on things that have been happening lately. So I just kind of want to talk about my life and we can get into the topic as it reveals itself. It's basically, I wanted to talk about birthdays today because right now there are so many birthday events that I've been going to. It's kind of ridiculous. I am like, what is 9 months before mid to late October? Because people have been active in those 9 months. Or 9 months prior, I guess, because everybody I know has a birthday right now. And like last weekend, we went to a birthday party for my friend who I used to work with at Cedars-Sinai. And that was really fun. It was like an outdoor park gathering with food and, just like nice social activity, chatting and catching up. My friend is really into Animal Crossing right now. If any of y'all played Animal Crossing New Horizons, that game is super fun. I also have an island. It's called Kaliri Bay. My business is Kaliri Creations, and then my Animal Crossing is Kaliri Bay. So not very creative, I guess, but I do like my last name. So I try and put it on everything I can. So yeah, I was having fun talking with my friend about Animal Crossing, and I gave her some amiibos, which are these little digitized cards that correspond to a villager. And it's kind of like cheating to get the villagers that you actually want, because I can't stand having the villagers that are like not to my liking. Like if they're ugly or, like weird looking, I don't want them on my island. I want the like super cutesy ones. And every time I set out to making an island, because I've kind of like started from scratch a bunch of times, So every time I start over, I'm like, okay, who do I want as villagers? And I like build the island around the villagers. And so we had met up recently and we're talking about, you know, the villagers and our favorites and everything. And so I gave her some amiibos and we looked at each other's islands and stuff. So that was like pretty cool. Which, by the way, a little sidebar about the Animal Crossing stuff. I'd love to hear if any of y'all play who your favorite villager is. Mine, personally, all-time fave is Dobby the Wolf, because he's like the only character who shows age. Maybe there are some others that show like signs of aging, but his is like severe. Like you can see wrinkles on his face and he just looks like old. He barely ever opens his eyes and he wears like little old man sweaters. I don't know, I just think he's so cute, and I guess I'm aspiring to be like that one day with my knit sweaters and all of that. So let me know what your favorite villager is. I would love to hear. But anyway, yeah, so that happened. That birthday thing was Saturday, and then we left from that to go to another birthday party for one of Brian's, my husband. One of his cousins had a birthday as well. So we went to a second birthday party right after that. And that one was like a family gathering, so it was a lot more laid back and kind of just everyone hanging out outside. But it was really nice to talk to members of my husband's family and kind of get to know them better. It was a more quiet gathering than normal. Usually there's like big speakers like playing super loud music. But this time, no one brought a speaker, so it was kind of just like very quiet, and it was really nice to get to chat with them and kind of get to know them a little bit better. I don't see them super often, and there is a bit of a language barrier because they speak Spanish. Some of them only speak Spanish, so it gets kind of hard to communicate. I do have some Spanish speaking ability. I did minor in Spanish when I was in college, and I studied abroad in Costa Rica, which that would be a great story for one of these at some point. So definitely at some point I'll tell you all about my study abroad to Costa Rica. But you know, those experiences happened so long ago, and it's really true what they say about language. Like if you do not use it, you will lose it. And despite being married to a Mexican man, I just don't use Spanish that often. So it does make some family gatherings a little bit hard for me, and I don't really connect as well with his family as he does with mine for that reason. So it does kind of motivate me to want to learn some more Spanish, or at least like brush up on it. I do have Babbel on my phone right now, but I don't know, I just get so lazy about it, and I'm like, I don't want to learn anything. I want to do like brain rot or crochet or, you know, something that I don't have to put energy into. So I should be better about that, because I do want to connect more with his family, because I think it would be nice, and it would open up like a new level of connection with the family, and I think I would feel more a part of it. So it's something I should work on for sure. But it's tough, you know, when you have work and hobbies in the background. But I will say what is nice about those kinds of gatherings with his family is that mostly everyone is just sitting around kind of talking, drinking, or just chilling. And so what's nice about that is that I can bring my knitting and, you know, people will ask me about it, and everyone seems like pretty excited to see what I'm working on and hear about it. So that was pretty fun, getting to explain the MCAL and, you know, tell people all about how it's like a weekly thing, it's a mystery, and, you know, everyone said it was beautiful. So I was really glad for that time to be able to knit while I was there. Also because, and I will talk about this in my Clue 3 reveal video coming soon, man, this Clue 3 has had a lot of knitting. I I'm not sure if, you know, the actual stitch counts would back this up, but I feel like we are basically doubling the size of the shawl with this Clue 3. So it is a lot of knitting. And I have just been like knitting ferociously. I'm like so grateful that there was time at that second birthday party that we went to, because I needed it. I am on section 4 of that Clue, which is like the second half of it. And I'm like maybe a third of the way done with that. But I'm like, man, the Clue 4 is going to drop in 2 days. So I have a lot of work to do still if I want to meet my own deadline for it, which would be to finish by the end of Wednesday night. So it's pretty daunting. So anyway, that is like why I am super grateful that I was able to just kind of sit and knit. Because sometimes with events, actually with every event that I ever commit myself to, I get very, like, not nervous, but I just, it takes a lot of work for me to build up like the mental readiness to want to go. And that's for everything. Even if I'm excited for it, like I talked last weekend about my best friend's wedding, that, you know, it was amazing. I don't regret anything. Like, it was a perfect weekend. But leading up to it, I was like, oh man, I don't feel like traveling. I don't feel like spending all the time doing this. And like, I know in my head that it's going to be worth it. It just takes a lot of like building up the readiness in my head to actually feel excited and get ready for it. So even with these 2 birthday events from last weekend, I was like psyching myself up all week because I knew they were coming, and I knew it was going to be like time where I was going to be away from home, not knitting. So I was kind of anxious about like, oh man, when am I going to work on this Clue 3? I got a lot to do. So I was glad that there was time for that. And it, you know, both of those events ended up being really great. And I'm really glad that I went to both of them. Especially, you know, the family one. I hadn't seen some of the family in a while, and it was really nice to talk about Thanksgiving plans and kind of feel like, you know, we're all going to come together again as like a big family for Thanksgiving. So yeah, it was really fun. But it continues this weekend because we have another 2 birthday events that we're going to, starting on Saturday. My husband's brother is having a birthday. Well, it's his birthday. I don't know if he's doing anything. So if he is doing something, we will go, or we might like end up hosting something on Saturday. And then on Sunday, a guy from my knitting group is having a birthday celebration in the park. So it's like another 2 birthdays this upcoming weekend. And then the following weekend, so Halloween weekend, it is my husband's birthday on Halloween. He is a Halloween baby. And he likes to call it his Birthoween. So we were going to be celebrating his Birthoween on the 31st. His aunt was also born on Halloween. So it's like another birthday there. Although she did say she wasn't going to do anything. So I don't think we are going to be doing anything because she doesn't want to. Even Brian was like not even really wanting to do something for his birthday this year, which, you know, not if I can help it. So I don't think he's going to watch this. So I'll just say, like, you know, there is something coming for his birthday that he's not aware of. And if you are watching, babe, then get ready, because I'm doing something for your birthday and it's a surprise. So I'll definitely circle back to that for y'all after the surprise is over. But yeah, I just, you know, I want to make it feel special for him. He is turning 30. So he'll be joining me at the age of 30. We're both 95 babies. So he's finally going to be turning 30. And I hope it goes well for him. It was like kind of tough for me turning 30. just not like anything about turning 30 was hard itself. It's just, you know, another day, and now you're a year older. But what was hard for me was like the months after turning 30 just felt very packed full of like very big events. So like I had a falling out with a friend in March or April. My car also broke down and like was kaput in March or April. My grandfather passed in May. We also went on a cruise in May, and so just, I mean, that's a good one. But everything else was like negative, negative, negative. And so I was like, oh my gosh, turning 30 is awful. It's true what they say, your body really feels it when you turn 30. And things have calmed down since then. And it's not like every day has been chaos since I turned 30. But I'm curious to see, you know, if he'll notice any big life-changing things happen when he turns 30 as well, or if any of y'all did. I felt very invigorated when I first turned 30, because I was like, you know, this is my first decade of life that I have full control over from the very beginning. So, you know, like, of course, growing up, you have to go to school, you have to do all these things to get your degree and all that, and that even continues into your early 20s. And then I think, you know, after graduating in your early 20s, like I graduated college when I was 22, well, then it was like I moved to California. I was looking for jobs, I was looking for partners, you know, it's like you're distracted by so many things. And so like turning 30 felt really significant to me, because I was like, well, I don't need to find a job because I have one. I don't need to move. I have an apartment. I don't need to look for a partner. I have a husband. So like everything fell into place. And now I can finally just use this time to work on things that I actually want to do. And like, you know, I don't need to have a YouTube channel or anything, but I want to work on it. You know, I don't need to have an Etsy shop. I want to, you know, do things to enhance that shop and like add things to it and just get better as a fiber artist in general. So for me personally, I set out at the beginning of my 30s with a mission to kind of use the whole decade to learn new things, build my skill set, and just kind of branch out to things that I haven't done before. Which is why you saw a lot of yarn dyeing things earlier this year. I really wanted to learn that and get better at doing that. So, and that ended up being a success. I have my yarn on my Etsy right now, and I've sold 6 skeins. So, you know, nothing crazy. I haven't moved mountains or anything. But if I didn't try, if I didn't take the time to learn all those dyeing methods and, you know, have my own protocol that I worked hard to get just, you know, by failing so many times, then I wouldn't have sold anything. So I think it's a nice testament of like my 30s are already working for me because I have come into them with the mindset for growth. So I think he's going in with the same mindset also, my husband. I know he's very big into video games. His favorite one is either Animal Crossing, but probably his most favorite game is Dead by Daylight. And not to brag, but he is pretty good. So he wants to get into streaming that. And, you know, as somebody who does videos, I was like, you should totally get into it, you know? What's the harm of posting it? Even if, you know, it doesn't get that much traction right away, you just never know how the internet is going to take something and share it around. Like, for example, my video that is like still gaining a lot of traction out there is the one where I make the steeking sweater. That video has been going all over the place and people are still commenting on it even today. But when I first posted it, it was like crickets. So it took a little while for it to actually kind of like gain some popularity. So I'm like encouraging him to do that, and I think he is making moves towards that also. So I'm really proud of him, and I'm excited for him to turn 30. And I want him to also feel excited. So that's why I want to go out of my way to make the day a little special for him. So I'm excited about that birthday. And then after that birthday, my brother's birthday is like 2 days after that. So there's a lot of birthdays going on. It's a lot to keep up with at this time of year. But I do enjoy celebrating birthdays with people. And I'm trying to get better at making sure I go to people's events, because there's too many times where I'm like, I'd rather just be home and like, work on my projects and not have to like go anywhere. I just want the weekend for myself kind of thing. But every time I go to these events where I connect with my friends again and I talk to them, it just feels so nice to be included and to actually build some kind of community. So I'm trying to push myself out of my comfort zone and like say yes to these things like with excitement, because I am excited for them and I want to celebrate with them. It's just kind of hard to pull myself out of my shell that wants to just sit home and watch TV and, work on my knitting or my crochet. Oops. So yeah, I'm trying like really hard to get out of that mindset of like, you don't have to go to any of these. Trying to, I guess, make them obligatory in my mind so that it doesn't seem like an option, so that, I don't know, maybe it's like easier for me to be like, well, you don't have a choice, so go and have fun. Like these birthday events are supposed to be fun. So I am like trying to make sure I show up with a good attitude and put my best foot forward for them. Because at the end of the day, it's really just like a couple hours taken out of my day that I get to see my friends, which, I never really go out of my way to do that. I see my friends at knitting every Sunday. But as far as like coworkers or, family that lives in the area, we don't really get together unless there is a birthday or an event. So I'm like, you know what? These are perfect times to kind of get back into the swing of family and friend hangouts. So yeah, and actually after seeing the success of last weekend, we went to 2 birthday things on the same day, and one of them was an hour away. So we still made it work. And I was still able to work on my knitting. I was still having a great time, even arguably a better time than I would have had at home, because at home I would just be doing the same thing I always do. But this was like such a nice change of pace. It's a nice way to kind of like mix up my weekend. And I find that when you do stuff like that, the weekend feels a lot longer because, you did a lot more. Sometimes when I just sit at home and don't do anything over the weekend, it feels like I just blinked and the weekend is gone. And that's just because the only memory I have is just sitting on my ass on my couch at home, just knitting, watching TV. And I don't work out over the weekends, so sometimes it's like I don't even leave the house. So sometimes I actually am kind of regretful that I didn't do anything of significance over the weekend. So I'm trying to kind of reframe my mindset and see these not as like burdens or things that I have to go to, but as things that can add like flavor and variety to my life in a way, I guess. So yeah, that's what's going on right now in my life. Lots of birthdays. I think after my brother's birthday in November, there isn't really any major event until like Thanksgiving, Christmas. I don't think anyone has any major birthdays. Although I do know one of Brian's aunts has a birthday sometime in December. But that kind of, gets like lumped in with some holiday stuff sometimes. So it feels more like the holidays are here. So it's not as hard to get excited for stuff that's happening in the holiday season. It's just like stuff that happens like on a regular week, where there's not a holiday. It makes me feel less excited to go to it for some reason. But like I said, I'm working on it, trying to change and have a better mindset for it. And, this weekend was perfect evidence that there's good reason to do that, because I really enjoyed myself. I had a great weekend, and, even the hour drive to get to and from one of the birthday parties wasn't even that bad. I'm kind of used to driving all the time. So like my commute to and from work is 1 hour. So it's not even like unusual for me to be in the car for 1 hour. Sorry, there's like a helicopter going. Let me just let it pass for 1 second. So yeah, anyway, it's not like uncommon for me to drive for that long. So it's just like I don't want to drive on the weekend because I drive every day during the work week. So I think that's another reason why sometimes I feel a bit of dread before these events. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to go out on the roads. You never know if it's going to be like a crazy day on the roads or not. So trying to break out of that and, be a better friend and a better like family member, and really feel excited for these events. So anyway, yeah, there's a lot coming up. My birthday is not until February, but I typically will take the day off of work. That's like my yearly gift to myself. And then probably just like eat out at a nice place. I don't really do gatherings so much. I mean, as you could probably glean from everything I just said. But, maybe sometime I would do a party again. I think the last time I had a birthday party was before COVID. So usually I just enjoy like a nice date out with my husband, or just like staying in and having some sweet treats or something. So that's kind of what I like to do for my birthday, but I'm kind of inspired by some of my friends who are hosting their own birthday parties. And, I had a lot of fun. So I'm kind of thinking maybe this next one I would do something bigger that would incorporate more of my friends. But I'm not sure. I've got a couple months to think about it. So I will definitely give it some thought. But let me know how you guys like to celebrate your birthday. If you guys are like a big birthday person, or if you don't really care for them. I know people on both sides of that fence. So it's really up to you, and it's your birthday, so it's all up to you what you like to do or what you don't like to do. But that is probably going to wrap it up for this WIP Wednesday. Just do a couple more stitches, because now this is actually building up to be like a little headband. So I'm finally making some progress on this, and I can see for sure it is not twisted. We're like good to go. So definitely excited to keep working on this, but I do need to get back to working on my mystery knit along if I have any hope of finishing by Thursday. So this video is going to go up tomorrow. It's Tuesday today. So I film a little bit earlier usually, but then my mystery knit along video I think will be coming probably Wednesday at the very earliest, if not Thursday. So keep an eye out for that, and I'm like very excited to share my progress on that Clue 3, because as annoying as it is to make, it is very beautiful. So definitely be on the lookout for that, and I will see you all next Wednesday.